What you gonna do? You gonna come closer? You gonna stare forever? Do you wanna get to know me? Get your confidence up, we only got tonight. DJ's bringing the heat, you better do this right. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Do 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 do. What you gonna do? Do. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Do 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 do.
Hey everybody, it's Krusty Old Crow back again on this, what is today? Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm retired, man. Days start losing their meaning, same as weekends when you're retired, but it's the day after. The day after I stumbled across a G.I. Joe classified 60th anniversary action marine sniper in the wild at Toys R Us. And I had been shooting some footage and I wanted to take my time with it. And I was feeling a little rushed. I mean, I don't see many reviews of this out there, so in feeling rushed, I stopped myself and said, you know what? Look a little harder at this thing, because there's a lot to take in with these 60th anniversary figures, good and bad, right? So today I'm going to talk about it on the tactical perspective. I'm going to give this thing the same kind of treatment I give all my G.I. Joe classified related reviews in extreme close-ups because of wind. I'm going to do this, of course, with the figure out of it. I've already opened this one. G.I. Joe classified action marine sniper with all the kit and caboodle that she came with when she surprised me on that shelf at Toys R Us today. But first, I'm wearing the wrong hat, aren't I? We gotta switch hats. Jeez, that keeps happening. There we go. What's saying? Happy birthday. Right? If you guys remember the old Frosty the Snowman cartoons when you were a kid, put on that happy birthday. So it's of course time to put on that thinking cap, guys, and hear me out on this one, because as much as I have quite a few issues with this figure, I'm very happy with this figure, but there's things I do to it for me to accept this figure in my collection is not without criticism, but I do think this is actually one of the cooler figures we've had in a little while, and I'll explain why. Stay tuned. I suppose I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't discuss this box. It's not much different than what we've seen in the past with a line. You have your universal main figure that shows you kind of what you're getting in the pose that they want you to imagine her in, which is this sniper in the ghillie suit, you know, two-tone case. She's assembled her rifle. She's in the woods in a threat environment. She's creeping and crawling. They want you to draw attention to the crosshairs of Jolly Roger over here. I think that's a good choice. You could miss that if you weren't really looking for it in any other shot. So it's good. That's good use of these for one time, right? And then alternate heads is always a good fill. So this one was easy for them to make these relevant. In other figures, we see them being completely random crapshoot. Hey, we applied paint on this. It's the tip of the gun. Okay. But we showed you. Okay, who cares? Again, this isn't a character out of the G.I. Joe classified lore, so there's no number, which means you can troop build, universally collect. It doesn't stamp it down and it doesn't interrupt your collection if you ignore this completely, which is the biggest thing, right? These are take it or leave it. You like them, grab as many as you want. You don't like them, okay, it won't affect your G.I. Joes. But again, that QR code will also not affect anything in the planet other than, you know, flyers being not left at your doorstep, because this is essentially a Hasbro flyer that you can go and look at on your phone. It's got nothing to do with the character. Box art on the side, I will save that when I get rid of this box. 60th anniversary background art, which isn't really much. I will show you on these what that is, because it is something, and I shouldn't ignore it. These, very seldom do we draw attention to these things. I thought I'd save us some time at doing the unboxing, because I can't stand the sound of plastic being unwrapped in there. But guys, it's a topographic map in the background, and I like that. You know, a good old topo map to get into the terrain. And that's the kind of thing that a sniper is looking at, going, all right, well, there's my low valley approach. I'm going to want to sit somewhere on this crest line, and I'll come up behind here because the target's probably going to be down in this valley. They'll travel this route, right? Like, it's all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of neat to see the little things that they'll slide in that doesn't cost them a lot. And then it's disparaging to see the things where they focus the money going to, in most cases, but not with this figure. I think this figure is a nice balance of what the hell. And so okay, of course, because we don't have file cards for these 60th anniversary characters, we can't really use that as a source of information, can we? We just have what we had before, which was the action soldier and the recon diver, right? And we knew what we knew about these ones. The soft goods looked kind of neat, but they had their own issues. Covered by these soft goods were concerns, right? With the action sniper, I don't think we have the same concerns, which is nice. We can put some of these concerns to bed and adopt new ones. So here we have the soft goods ghillie suit, which, guys, I mean, listen, I have opinions on Oscar the Grouch here, okay? That will come into play, and I'll explain them. But basically what it is I don't have the Vala version of this, winter or green. I will probably stumble across one at some point and acquire it and compare the two. But let's set our expectations on these. An actual sniper ghillie suit is usually a handmade, you know, custom thing that the snipers themselves make for themselves, right, at some point in their career, and they keep building on it. It's a work in progress. Yes, you can buy ghillie suits, and yes, there's things about them that are, you know, there's more nuances to them than just looking cool and being camouflaged, right? You have a lot of considerations in them, and you can't, you know, one ghillie suit's good for one area, another ghillie suit's got to be good for another area. They don't always work in the same areas, right? So you want a universal ghillie suit. You can't go wrong with greens and browns, which Hasbro did. So they did that well. But how much money do you want to spend into this particular character is the question with the ghillie suit, okay? So the answer to that was not much, right? Right, Oscar? Not much. I hate spending money, right, Lenny? Right? So Oscar here did not cost a lot. I want to show you there was nothing ingenious about the design. It was just simply arts and crafts. I mean, if you ever wanted to wonder where children would produce if sweatshops were good and legal, I'm just saying, little green ghosts. No, but of course Hasbro would not get involved with the sweatshop. I'm just joking, and I don't mean to put that out there, but just really not a lot of skill sets and design considerations that were required for such a thing as this, right? It's not rocket science here, okay? It's not brain science rockets. Just simple things like this, and then it gets you thinking, well, can't you do this? If you or your spouse or your significant other or your kids have a gift for cutting shapes and sewing them together, perhaps you could make your own ghillie suits if you went to a fabric store and found what you wanted, right? So an achievable nice little nod to get thrown into a deluxe package like the 60th anniversary soldier. But just like this little camo cape, this was also out there to distract us from some stuff that was going on with the kit, clearly. So I'm gonna take us over to the spindle. We'll have a look at the characters and unique ways that I've got them. And yeah, I bought 2 of them, and I'll explain why as we go. All right, so before I get into the meat and potatoes and all the good stuff about this figure and all the bad stuff about this figure, I'm going to ask you guys, if you don't mind, if you're enjoying this content, if you want to see more, go ahead and hit that like. Feel free to share this stuff on Facebook. I'm not very active on Facebook, but I'm there. I'm more active on Instagram. You can follow me there, Krusty Old Crow at Instagram. And also, if you really enjoy my stuff and you want to have access to just all the crow you can handle, which is, more than most people would ever want, you can just subscribe. I would appreciate it. We are trying to make that push to 500 and see where this year takes us, because last year taught us a lot, and I'm enjoying this. I hope you guys are too. But enough about me and the channel. Let's talk about she and the rifle. Okay, we're going to talk about this elite sniper that is the 60th anniversary. I'm just trying to find my box here. 60th anniversary Action Marine sniper, and I went into this one with a lot of criticisms, and some of them held up and some of them went away. So I'm just trying to find a position out of the wind, hopefully, to get this across. But I'm not going to go in the normal head-to-toe in order. I'm going to focus on the kit here first. So the very first thing I was skeptical about, like I said in the lead in here, was that Ghillie suit, but also this rifle. This figure is comprised of two key core kits and then a random. And it's the low light rifle, of course, so low life. Auto pistol included in this, and a low light backpack, low light carry case, two-toned, that's nice, but also desert snake eyes, or snake eyes in general, with the Uzi and the silencer and the pistol. Low lights, wind and temperature reader there. I can't remember what the sniper's tool is actually called, but the one that gives them all the proper mathematical equations of temperature, range, distance, moisture in the air, things like that. That's also included in this kit. So it's snake eyes and low lights kit that we're getting with this. However, we've become accustomed to this, and I've come to realize that the 60th anniversary line, it's not about presenting new kit as much as it is presenting interesting troop build options and a character with personality that reflects something Joe didn't show you before. So rather than look at this as an Action Marine sniper, we have to look at this as an Action Marine who has a sniper qualification, who also has a reconnaissance qualification and probably a Pathfinder qualification, who goes out on regular patrols and adopts the sniper role when required. What they've provided here is enough kit to do that in a variety of ways. No one is telling you to pack all that kit on there. Furthermore, you couldn't, and it wouldn't make a lot of sense. What I saw the potential for in this was the sniper and spotter combo, but that would have required something a little extra that they didn't provide. They give you, like I said, the rifle with the silencer that's compatible with low light's other gun, the 9mm auto pistol or whatever that thing is. But they've also given you a K-bar type knife, which I don't understand, considering the snake eyes sprue that they draw upon half the kit from actually has that curved spider type fighting knife. And furthermore, they don't include a sheath for this knife. There's nowhere for her to stick this. Now, if we look at the head sculpts, you've seen there are two different types of head sculpts. There's the Caucasian, and then there's the, I would say, almost Southern, like Brazilian, Colombian, in Mexican even, a Latina heritage. I wouldn't say African American, maybe even Polynesian. I have no idea. You can create whatever backgrounds you want. They're your toys. No one's coming to take you away. Punk is right. No one's coming to take your toys away. But yeah, one has the cam paint. And this is a good example of good cam paint on a figure because it is actually breaking up the shape of her face. Unlike with the Tiger Force Roadblock or Tiger Force Flint, where the cam paint is applied sloppy or even dusty for that matter in any iteration, the cam paint has no actual theory of cam applied to it. In this one, it does hit a couple of the check marks, which is to break up shape and shine, which is why you see it over the bridge of her nose. That is actually very intentionally done. When people cam up, you're trying to break up the details of your face, so a passive scan of an area does not pick up the details of a facial feature by changing the depth of the shadows of your face. So it's really good. The other head you had was the Tilly hat, which a lot of people were looking for in this line, with the red head underneath. And this is a red head that isn't Scarlet for once. This is its own new generic character. She's got this girl next door feel to her. and she looks a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little too polished and pristine to be expressing the kind of combat that the action Marine is seeing. She looks too pleasant with it all, in my humble opinion about it. I would have liked a more aggressive facial feature. I don't think there's anything wrong with this head, actually. I think it's a very good head. And I'm saying this very tongue-in-cheek. You get good head 3 times from this box. But you get that 3 good heads. But you get 2 necks. The overall feel of this head, sorry, it's 2 good heads and 3 good head features. But the overall feel of this one is just a little bit too passive, a little bit too at home. She's very much rested. And when they switch over to the ball cap and headset with the gold and black Oakleys, that vibe feels a little bit more at home, because I feel like she almost looks like a range shooting coach, right? Like somebody teaching somebody to sniper techniques at the range and watching fall of shot. The only thing that's absent in this kit to actually make me feel that is a set of binos. Why we continually get snipers that don't have binoculars is a mystery to me. When the most sniper teams, you have the spotter and the shooter, and then the binos are an intricate piece of kit with their own tripod or some sort of mount, and you could have a lot of fun with this if you were a Hasbro designer, but they seem to be ignoring it. Yet they've enticed you to buy 2 of these figures by giving you 2 different characters, possibly, right? So why they didn't go with that, I have no idea. But what they did go with is a K-bar knife out of place, an Uzi that can get silenced using 9mm ammo, same as the other gun that was provided from the low light kit, and then the low light rifle. And all this time it is repainted. It's got no more or no less the same problems as it did before. At least unlike with the Naga hide variant, this one does close, and they did make 2 tones inside the case for your eye pleasure, which you'll see in some of the photos, or I've talked about anyways, or you can find out for yourself, because I'm sure you guys are going to pick up this figure the same as I did. The Tilly suit, like I said, Ghillie suit, while it reminds me of Oscar the Grouch, I do find it fits the darker toned female much cleaner than it does with the Caucasian girl, just because of the campaign issue. Again, if you're not going to cam up, why put on a Ghillie suit? Of course, the hands for either face set are available, and there you had what I was looking at. Because they don't have binos, this is as close as I could get as far as a sniper team working on maybe a shooting range, advising each other. I will advise you also, the sidearm for the holster that goes on the right hip of this figure, watch yours. I have 2 figures, and one, the sidearm fits in nice and snug, and the other, it slips out like it's got grease all over it. It shoots out of that thing. I've dropped that pistol so many times I've given up looking for it. So another reason to buy 2, kit replacement. So overall, guys, I would have to say the kit has once again been trying to be distracted from by soft goods. This is what I expect from the Halo jumper as well. Our soft goods will blind you from, mediocre kit. Of course, the Halo jumper will be coming with steel core kit, right? So the backpack and the parachute and the masks will be the feature, as were the heads and the Ghillie suits in this one, right? So do I think it's a good kit? Yeah, I really do, but not for being just a sniper. Okay, so hear me out. Go through your kit selection. What about Snow Job's rifle for a sniper? What about another bat? Like even Lowlight caved and used a bat rifle, but he seems to make everybody else use his, right? You have options. You can go on to Top Fun Retro Toys 3D and order a whole bunch. You could go see Model Misfits 1138, Loki Wartooth, order a whole bunch of new selection rifles. Kit shouldn't contain you when the buck is good, and this buck is good. Here's a different idea. What about a different approach to this operator, like a compound bow? Like, these were the things they gave you through giving you different heads, a solid buck wearing thinsulate camo pattern. She's going to look great with Stalker and Grunt and Rock and Roll creeping through a wood line on patrol. In that Ghillie suit, in those pairs, it doesn't matter. You've got a solid buck. Don't be blinded by the kit. The kit isn't a good reflection of the price. The price isn't a good reflection of the figure. The figure is the only reflection of where the money went into it. It was paint and heads. God, I wish they had included a set of binos, because this head, the Oakleys, the hat, and the headset, this is a range shooting coach. This is a squad leader. This is a vehicle crew commander. This is a bike rider. This is a lot of different things for your line, guys, so don't get wrapped around that action marine sniper title. It's a good fig, but it's nothing new. I mean, it is Helix's torso. I think it's her arms too, and it's probably Lady J or Scarlett's legs. I mean, these are all reuses. The point of, again, the anniversary line is just to give you something a little different to focus on that you weren't going to get from a Joe character, and pay homage to those forces. So on attack grade, I'm going to give this thing about a 3.5. It's got good sniper kit. It's got too much selection for close quarters, meaning that it is meant to be something more than just a sniper, I'm sure, for under 250 meters, and it's fine, but I found it really lackluster, and there was an opportunity to reuse different characters with better rifles more suited for the role than to cheap out and keep going back to Lowlight's sectional and easy to lose pieces of his sniper rifle. Tactically, I have to keep it above that 3 because they gave us a Ghillie suit. Now, guys, I'm not going to say the Ghillie suit isn't without problems. It's constantly riding up. You have to cradle it down. It's not going to work for every figure. And to be fair, I think some different hats and things that are molded into a certain character's head will make it hard to interrupt. But it does fit with these characters. The paunch it creates when you have the hood down is something that has to be pinned down with either the ponytail of the hat head or the tails of the bandana on the darker skinned head. That's the only way that hood stays down if you want her unhooded but still wearing that Ghillie suit. But I appreciate these things into their tactical sense. On that play grade, I'm going to give it a solid 5. Whether you're sick of that kit or not, they've given you enough of it. But moreover, they gave you a very versatile figure that can fit quite a few roles, as I covered earlier. It doesn't just have to be a sniper, guys. It can be, headquarters. It can be ops. It can be, like I said, range shooting, vehicle crew, whatever you want it to be. They've provided you a lot of good options here. But to be fair, actually, I do have to take 0.5 off because, well, they provided you with that good kit. They provided you a lot of pieces that you can lose. So that play factor only stays good so long as you keep all the pieces, right? And with nowhere to stick a knife, a lot of silencers, perhaps even a holster issue, you start running out of places to put things. You're going to lose them off your dolly. So what are you going to do, right? So 4.5 for play. Now comes the downside. It's that je ne sais quoi factor. This time it's really tripped up on a ism here, guys. For the je ne sais quoi factor, I'm going to knock this thing down to a 3. I think we already had Jody Shooter Craig in the lineup for Night Force as a sniper. The female sniper was not a unique entity. A female Halo jumper would have been a unique entity. Recon diver or action soldier, all unique entities. But this sniper was already included in the line, and I don't know if that was considered. So now with 2 kits, we have up to 3 to 4 female snipers, and I'm just talking, the laws of probability. This has nothing to do with sexism or gender imbalances. This is just raw probability and stats. How many females go in for infantry? How many females specialized in being a sniper? How many would be as elite as to make it past all the special forces unit to eventually end up in this fictitious best of the best that Joes are? That's the logic problem. That's the je ne sais quoi that I can't get around. And so to me, in essence, what they've done here is they've created a really great strong buck with some good head features and efficient reuse of kit that could be explained away through a variety of roles. You've made that accessible to the character. Here's a blooper behind the scenes reel of some footage that didn't work for you, right? But as I go thinking about how many females stay in the military to go that far in their career, the numbers get lower and lower. Yeah, see, this camera wasn't even lined up. So we'll just stop. We'll re-spool, he says. So yeah, that bothered me enough. Now, 3's a bit harsh, but also in the je ne sais quoi factor, I have to lead into, well, why didn't they make the female that they wanted to make out of one of the other 60th anniversary? I feel like they've squandered this representation by making it redundant. through Jody Shooter Craig again. There's just something about that connection there that's bothering me. To even further add insult to it was to not create this opportunity as a reuse of a snow job rifle or another good sniper rifle, to default back. Yeah, it's sloppy. To default back to that low light rifle is not good. In fact, the more I think of it, snow gear aside, even with the snow gear, a second ghillie suit in white with Snow Job's kit or just Snow Job's backpack and rifle would have been a better ad than I think Low Job's, Low Job. Pardon me, this is all backstage footage. You can see the thing stopped turning, right? Low Light, that kit versus Snow Job. I think we should have had some Snow Job in here instead of Low Light and Snake Eyes and whatever else they could throw in except binos. So 3.5. I think we're splitting hairs at that point. And that is the je ne sais quoi factor, right? I don't know why I feel like it deserves 3, but I just feel like that whole consideration was blown as to why were we making this figure a female in this line. Call it what you will, guys. Just tell me I'm an old man, or tell me we're just talking about toys here. It's all fine, but I look at marketing and the next generation and messages and all that other stupid crap. Anyways, did I enjoy this figure? Absolutely. I wouldn't have bought 2 if I didn't get a good impression of it, right? And I do have a good impression of it. So now I'm just going to call it for the day. I'm going to switch to some music and end this off with a little bit of a bit of a video play of these two at their firing range.
Hi, Mom, it's Becky. I was on a mission today. With Julia, we went out with the Joes and we were doing our shooting, and I couldn't help but notice they keep kidding us up with all the cheap crap that they give everybody else. I tried calling him on it, but then Lowlate came by and took my binoculars and got all angry about his own kid issues he was saying, but then Snake Eyes showed up and he acted all cringy about Dileg Wayuzi, except he did that in sign language, which took forever. But then I tried to make a deal with him, and for his knifing, he offered me these 2 stupid K-bars. Mom, I don't think I like it here. I think I want to go see what those Vala girls are dealing with.
Shut up, I hate you so much, Becky.
What you gonna do? You gonna come closer? You gonna stare forever? Do you wanna get to know me? Get your confidence up. We only got tonight. DJ's bringing the heat. You better do this right. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?